What's good, guys? This is Nightwing2303 from WearTesters.com. Now that Concord season is finally over, at least for those of you that got a pair, if you happen to not, don't go and pay resale prices. They will be restocking. Trust me, restocking. There was a billion of these things made, not literally, but like there was like 1.4 million is the rumor. All I know is that there is over a million of them and there's plenty for everybody. They're gonna be trickling them out in a few weeks. Don't you worry, you're gonna get your pair eventually. But if you happen to not like the Concords and you like Mocha instead, these might be your jam. So the Air Jordan 3 has returned in an original Retro Plus colorway. This was from 2001. They are known as the Mochas. It's a simple shoe, simple colorway. I absolutely love these things. I've always liked these, I just have never gotten a pair. It's never been like high on my hit list. I always like classics, but if we're talking about, you know, non-OGs, these are one of the cleaner ones for an Air Jordan 3 at least. Much like its 2001 counterpart, these guys are straight up white on white with everything, with the exception of the outsole and the 2 hits of elephant print. Those are done up in what they're calling Mocha. Other than those areas, there is the Mocha on like the little lace tips right here and on the branding. Otherwise, it's a very simple shoe. You do have some chrome hits at the bottom eyelets. It should be just enough chrome to not make people cringe, because for some reason people cringe with that fake chrome stuff. I don't know why. I've always been like, hey, that's cool.
I feel like this is very tastefully done. It's not a big plastic piece.
Look, man, if it's a big plastic piece and it's chrome, it's okay by me. It's all good.
But you don't like it when it's done on the eyelets, like on the 12s.
That's different. That's because they were never like that. If I originally saw something one way and that's how I ended up like being like, oh, those are dope, and then you change it on me, that's when I like, not just me, but like a lot of people, like OG heads, they will not accept.
So were they chrome on the original drop in 2001?
I believe so. It was like right around this time there was Retro Plus stuff. So this, I can't remember if this was a Retro Plus, which back in the day meant a non-original colorway, or if it was an LS version, which I think was a couple of years later, and LS versions were lifestyle versions of the shoe. For example, the Air Jordan 5 Grapes, those were labeled as an LS even though it's an original colorway. And the reason for that was because there was a ton of matching apparel for lifestyle. So those were the main key differentiators between like an OG release or not. And I think back in this day, like 2001, I'm pretty sure this was just a Retro Plus. Tech specs for these guys are just like any Air Jordan 3. You have a solid rubber outsole, polyurethane midsole, heel air unit, which you can actually see, it was visible, and then there's another one in the forefoot that you cannot see. It's an encapsulated unit. Something that's interesting that is not on these shoes, something that's interesting that was on the Concords and on the platinum tint Air Jordan 11s, and I found this on accident. You know those little sticker things that are inside there, the size tags? I hate those things, so I always try to take them off, and this one I couldn't get off all the way, but that one I could. And I was doing that with my pair of Concords, and I ended up having to pull the insole out to remove that stupid sticker, and what I ended up finding was a polyurethane insole inside of the Air Jordan 11 Concord for 2018. And the polyurethane insoles used to be like all the time, like back in this retro day, the 99 to 2001, they would always have polyurethane insoles. I remember my original metallic, like white metallic 5s. Those guys had a polyurethane midsole, and that's one of the main reasons why those older Jordans are so much more comfortable than these newer retros. So for those of you curious, the Air Jordan 11 Concord and the Air Jordan 11 Platinum tints, they have that polyurethane insole. Not quite as comfortable as the OG ones, but once you start wearing them and breaking them in, they do feel way more comfortable than something like that, which was from what, 2011? You don't remember, but it was from 2011, I'm pretty sure. Encyclopedia Wing at your service.
So do they have it in those?
So what I was trying to get at is that these don't have it, okay? These have that same standard,
the blue?
It's not blue.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the open cell foam though. Open cell foam is the really fluffy stuff, which feels good upon try on. It kind of tricks you because that stepping comfort initially is there. So you're like, ooh, nice and fluffy, super comfortable, right? But the more that you wear an open cell foam, the quicker it kind of like bottoms out is what people call it. And so like all of those open cells end up collapsing and falling, and you end up with just straight up polyurethane with the midsole.
It's like getting the mattress pad to try and save your mattress.
But it doesn't do anything. You might be like, one night, and then like 5 nights later you're like, oh. That's the thing. But it's a kind of a bummer. I actually do have 2 pairs of Concords, so maybe I will take one of those insoles and just start putting them in whatever daily Jordan I wear, because they legit make the shoe more comfortable. Like I swear, like they're awesome, I think. As far as the sizing for these guys, they do fit true to size, just like every other Air Jordan 3 that has dropped recently. Something to note though is that these don't come with a hang tag, at least my pair didn't, so I don't know if that was an accident or not. I wasn't even disappointed because I didn't notice it until like I was like thinking about everything. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, why didn't they? You know what I mean? Because that's like one of those inconsistency things that will bug me, like as a
keep you up at night?
Consumer. No, it doesn't keep me up at night, but it's like, why didn't they do that this time? That's my only thing. Same thing with the insole. Why didn't they put a polyurethane insole in there? I don't know. The materials on these guys, as far as the upper build is concerned, I think is quite nice. It feels much like the all white, the triple white joints that came out during the summer, as well as the free throw line dunks. The one thing that I do like though, that I have not liked on all of my past 3s this year, is that the leather on both the left and the right shoe is the same. I know. It's crazy, right? The build is not. So the craftsmanship is a little bit different. Like I think it was this pair has a nice kind of like thin and even elephant print, which I love. And then this one's not. It's like super boxy. It's like just a titch bigger. Again, one of those things where like if you really start looking at the details, you'll notice things. That's why I just wear them, and it's like, dude, I can't sit there and nitpick, otherwise I'll end up being a grumpy consumer. So with that being said, that is everything for these guys. They release this coming Saturday. Retail price is going to be $190. If you're interested, I've heard that they're going to be a quick strike. I don't know if that's true or not. I know that they are only coming out in men's sizes, so I mean technically, but still. And they're going to be available over at Phenom if you're local to the Sacramento or Elk Grove area, and if you're not, I will leave their phone number in the description box where you can give them a call for phone orders, just in case these aren't available in your area. However, they are going to be available over at Sneakers, as well as like all the main like retailers. I honestly don't think that these are going to move, but you know, we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think about these down below in the comment section. Do you think they're going to sell? Do you think they're going to sit? Comment below and let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time guys, have a good one.
They're only released in men's?
That's what I was told. Why, do you like these?
I do like those.
Really?
Yeah.
You like brown shoes?
I do like brown shoes.
Did you have any brown skate shoes? That's something that I forgot to say in the dang review. So right now, in today's sneaker climate, there's like analysts, right? Analysts. And they go over numbers. And numbers are great because they tell you a small part of the story of like what's going on in whatever space it is, right?
I love numbers.
Well, it just depends. Like, especially with something that sells like this, you need numbers to kind of like dictate. Same with like a YouTuber. Our views for one type of video will dictate if we continue doing those types of videos, or if we just like be like, hey, we tried that, didn't work, move on. So numbers in that sense are great, but again, they don't tell the whole story. So right now, basketball sales are down. They're like, I think they make up 4% of the sneaker sales in general and stuff, which is very low. And but some people are making a very big deal about this, as if it's some like, oh my God, like basketball's dead. And like this one dude, Matt Powell, he even said basketball sales are down, like on the actual balls themselves. And so he's saying like less people are playing basketball. I'm just like, maybe basketballs last longer because that, you know what I'm saying? Maybe people aren't playing with specific basketballs outdoors anymore. Like, remember, or you don't, but like I remember, and if you're a hooper, you know this, you go to the court and you'd have that one dude with that fuzzy ball, because like the coating was gone, you know what I mean? Like you would wear that ball through until the underlayer and stuff, and it was fuzzy. So it's like, you don't know, a number will only tell you one small piece of everything. So back in 2001, when these released originally, back in this day, skate shoes were like the thing. So right now, runners or running style inspired shoes, like, you know, like Tubulars, NMDs, the Huarache stuff, all that like it's all like selling right now more than basketball shoes, because lifestyle shoes are the current trend. It's a number thing, right? So that's something that we can dictate with the number value. But it doesn't mean that the category of basketball and retros are dying, because some of these shoes, like the Concords, million plus pairs, they're gone, they're sold, you know what I'm saying? So it's not a dead category, it's just that people are focusing more on the fact that you cannot wear these on and off court anymore. And so more people are buying off court shoes.
Well, and at the same token, the majority of the people who went out and bought the Concords are not wearing them to hoop in.
That's exactly what I'm saying, is that that's almost like considered a lifestyle shoe now, even though it is a basketball shoe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so like back then, skate shoes were the thing.
Yep.
Not only that, but brown skate skate shoes. They were, you name a brand, from Etnies to DVS to ES to Osiris to the Hawk brand. You remember that brand? I used to have a couple pairs of Tony Hawks. They were dope. Everybody had a brown sneaker except Jordan Brand. And so they were like, hey, we got to jump on that, like that chocolate wave and all that stuff. And so they came out with this, and it was a big flop. Like the shoe didn't sell. And again, back at that time, 2000, 2001, basketball shoes, and retro specifically, weren't selling like they do now. So if you want to compare those numbers, which we can't because there were no analysts back then doing that stuff, but retros like this will sell more units than it probably did originally. You know what I'm saying? Even at 190, even at the inflated price. So I think it's interesting that people act like the sky is falling, even though it's just normal, because sales or consumer goods, they ride waves. Things trend and they hit their peak and then they fall. Something else takes its place, and then this will come back eventually. It's the same thing, because the only time the basketball shoes were like the top thing was just recently when like YouTube started popping off. You know what I'm saying? And like reviews on basketball shoes started happening, and I think it was that shoe actually, the 2011 shoe. That was the height. That's when people started really like paying attention. Don't worry guys, basketball's not dead. There's plenty of people playing the sport. It's actually one of the most popular sports in the world right now. That and football, like real football, not
Soccer?
No, you gotta call it football.
Football.